All right. You know, great win. Obviously, thought the guys, we found a way to win the game, which was awesome against a good App State team. Now, go on the road, first time going to Monroe, and this is a team that plays very, very physical, and it's going to continue to do so. So it's going to be a challenge for us. So looking forward to it. Questions?
How big of a deal is it when you lose back-to-back the way that you did, but then to go in and rebound with a win like that? What does it say about this team?
Yeah, I think it's just finding a way to win. I think that was the most important thing. We were never. One thing about that game, the game was other than 0-0. I mean, we were leading the entire game. The game was never tied. We were never trailing, which allowed us to kind of control the tempo of the game a little bit more and those sort of things. I think the guys ended up doing some really good things, and then we didn't, panic. Obviously, got the onside kick, and that was huge. I think it's easy to look back and say, okay, well, we could have easily scored a couple more points in there and put that thing away, but getting the win and finding a way to win was important.
What's it say about this team also from the standpoint, no matter what, they have the ability to reset and come back from a two-game situation?
Yeah, I think the thing that was really weird about that game is there were a lot of moments where we played really, really well. And I think, it's easy to, and maybe human nature nowadays, to look at the parts where we could have done better and improved. But I thought we played we ended up playing pretty darn well in a number of different areas. So I think the guys responded well. I think that it was good because practice, we had a good week of practice, and then practice carried over into the game, and that was a thing that continues to show up, and we've got to continue to do that over and over and over again. So particularly because as you get deeper into the season, you're going to have some guys that are going to have some nicks and bruises and things like that, and they've got to be able to maybe practice differently, but still practice well and allow themselves to go out there and play well in the game.
What are some of the challenges that the Warhawks present, both offense and defense?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they play really hard, and they're a violent bunch, particularly up front on both sides of the ball. Their offensive line does a nice job and opening some holes and playing aggressive. They play with really like three tight ends. One of them's quite a large human. And he does a nice job of opening some holes. Their running backs they really play 2 to 3 of them. The two main ones have done a nice job. One's a little bit more of a shifty guy, but the other guy's a little bit more of a downhill guy. But they both run outside zone very well, and then they take a bunch of shots down the field. The other thing they do on offense is they run a lot of offense, meaning they have a variety of plays, formations. They'll run 2 quarterback stuff. They'll run quite a few exotic plays. They'll run basically they'll run unbalanced. They'll run empty. They'll run what most people would consider spread. They'll run what most people would consider pro-style stuff. So they give you a wide variety of stuff there. And then on defense, their defensive line and linebackers are a real strength for them. In the secondary, they cover well, but those defensive linemen, they're going to get after you pretty good. And so it's something that we're going to have to control the line of scrimmage and a little bit of strength on strength there.
You've played a bunch of opponents this year. You've seen over the years. This team you've never seen, never played.
Yep.
Does that even matter given the way Rockets are constructed now, or can you even say they're this type of team or that type of team?
No, I don't think it. I think it matters a lot less. I mean, I would agree with you. Maybe 10 years ago, when you've played, when I was in some of those different leagues, and you're playing somebody for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th time, and you know what type of players they're going to have, and you've played against those guys before. You know exactly what they're going to do in every single situation. Those are some really, those are kind of nerve-wracking in a different way because you can almost talk yourself out of some things or maybe, whatever. Nowadays, I mean, these rosters are turning over so much, the coaches are turning over so much that, it's almost like everybody's a new opponent. The only thing that is a little bit different here is none of us have ever been there, so we have no idea about the road locker room or anything like that. So it'll be kind of new for all of us in terms of that.
Do you send an advanced guy to stake out the lane?
Yeah, you always send an advanced guy, but advance, you're talking, 24 hours in advance, and he's not exactly. I mean, at that point, what are you going to do? Hey, the locker room is, this by this. It's like, all right, what are we going to do? Make it bigger? I mean, like it kind of is what it is at that point.
Coach, obviously, bowl eligibility is not a topic of conversation in your locker room, but a chance to get that done earlier than you guys ever have in your tenure here. Does that say anything about you guys?
No, I mean, I don't. I'm not really worried about bowl eligibility. I mean, that's so far down the road. I mean, the only thing that it gave me heart palpitations because that means I'm closer to Christmas, which means that I'm closer to my wife asking for a dog, which means I'm closer to me having to say no, which means I'm closer to being in trouble for an extended period of time. So, yeah, I mean, and people know we already have 2 dogs. We don't need a third dog.
Right.
But by the time this goes to air, we may have a third one. Who knows? I mean, already by today, my wife may see this and take this as an excuse to go get our third dog. So, but I'm not worried about bowl eligibility. I'm worried about this week. I mean, we got a lot of things to take care of before we get to the end of the year, and so again, if you start thinking about stuff that's 1-2 months away, man, that's like a lifetime away at this point.
You guys have been known in recent years for big plays on offense, and that's more pronounced this year. How deliberate is that? And what does that say about your coordinator that he's able to lull teams to sleep and pick those spots?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to lull them to sleep. I think we want to keep getting them all the time, but we are an explosive offense. It's a little bit of the nature of how we play in terms of spreading people out and doing those sort of things. It's a little bit of that nature. We'd like to be a little bit more consistent on some things, but we're going to look for those opportunities to get a big play as well. And when we have them, we're going to take advantage of them, and we're going to try them and get them going. We're actually playing a team that'll do that. I mean, these guys will take a lot of shots down the field, and they have different areas where they're going to take different shots, and they do a nice job with that. And so I think that's going to be one of the keys of the game is we got to limit their explosives, and we've got to continue to create ours.
Talking about the explosive offense, can you tell us a little bit more about how you manage that on the flip side from the defensive perspective than being on the field more often?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like people say that, oh man, your defense is going to be out there a long time, right? I didn't hear anybody mention that we had 33 minutes of possession time in this game, right? When we only have 24, you guys love to mention that, but when we have 33, no one says a word. Listen, it's going to happen. I mean, I don't think anybody on our defense is going to get upset when we score a one-play touchdown. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't think anybody's mad about that. They want us to score, and our defense knows that. Hey, our offense, give them a sliver of time, and we'll have a chance to go score. I mean, even we got an opportunity for a field goal at the end of the first half. I think we got the ball with like 30 seconds to go, and got that opportunity for a field goal. So our defense knows we just got to give our offense a chance and get them back on the field, and if that means they got to play 10 more plays or whatever, then they're going to play it. And I think that's why we played 9 defensive linemen in the game. That's why we're playing more DBs. That's why we're playing more linebackers, so that we can be able to last the whole season and last the whole game and play well at the end of games.
Coach, your offense had 33 minutes of possession time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
So, when it comes to having a bounce back game like that, though, for the offense, I mean, especially given the second half of JMU and then the Marshall game, just the importance of having the offense control a game like that in a bounce back way.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I mean, if you go back and you watch the game, our offense did play pretty well. We just didn't score the amount of points that maybe we normally do. And even when you go look at our indicators of success that we do at the end of the game, on Sunday we go over them and things like that. Had we scored a touchdown on that last drive, we would have got all of our goals. So and if you think about that, it only would have equaled 31 points or whatever. But we would have got all of our goals on that particular sheet, which we haven't done in a game this year, even the ones where we've scored 54 and that sort of thing. So I did think that we controlled a lot of the game on offense, but there were we just left too many points and too many opportunities on the field.
Now that you did mention that you possess the ball for 33 minutes,
Yeah.
is there a set number that you go for in terms of minutes per game and you go, okay, we're good, we need to do this?
No, I mean, all right, so let's say we go and in a hypothetical game, we score 8 touchdowns on 8 first plays and we have less than 5 minutes of possession time. The other team snaps the ball at 1 second every time. Does that make us a worse team? I don't think so. So no, I don't have a time on that. There are times when we need it, right? And I said after the game, we got the ball with 9 minutes left to go in the game, up by 10. Took 6 minutes off the clock, and man, I wish we would have got that one more first down so we could have taken that thing all the way down on 9 minutes. I've had one of those drives in my life where I've had a 9-minute drive and in the fourth quarter to end the game and score a touchdown. And I told somebody it was maybe other than the birth of my children and which is I'm obligated to say, my marriage. It was the most joyous moment of my entire life was that 9-minute drive. I mean, I've never been happier on anything, and I shouldn't even say the birth of my children because what did I do? I mean, my wife did all that. I didn't do it. I just stood there and rooted on her and the doctor. So I didn't, it wasn't, it was awesome to hold them, but
How hard is that? Just curious. 9-minute drive.
Hard.
Is this like
hard, really hard. I mean.
first time
You got to have it's hard from a number of different aspects. One, it's hard to have 9-minute drive because you actually have to get to third down in order to have a 9-minute drive, right? Like you can't be too good because if you keep getting first downs on first and second, you can never hold the ball for 9 minutes. It's impossible. So there has to be, I think on that drive, it was against Indiana in 2019? Yeah, I think it was 19. Yeah. And I think we had 4 fourth down conversions on that drive. So it's like one of those situations where you almost have to be good, but not too good in order to have a 9-minute drive.
Coach, with the offense specifically, gliding at 105 yards, but like in the Liberty game, it was Ja'Cory who went off, and then the JMU game, it was Trey. How important is it that all 3 of those receivers can do that? And then how difficult is it for an opposing defense to be like, okay, we have to put our best corner on this guy, but we may give up 100 to another guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's great that's real balance, right? Just being able to have different leading rushers every time, different receivers every time, maybe having 300 yards rushing in one game, maybe having 400 yards passing in another. I mean, that's what real balance is, because it makes it hard to be able to say, hey, how are we going to stop these guys? Being able to run the ball on the perimeter and inside, being able to take deep shots, being able to throw the ball outside and over the middle. Like, that's what balance is really about, not necessarily about the numbers saying, okay, we're this versus this on run versus pass. So I think the balance is what's going to allow you to be effective, and it does make it harder to defend, no doubt.
This isn't about your demeanor at a press conference, it's more about the content.
Yeah.
You've had games this year where you've blown teams out, multiple in a row, and you didn't come in here and say, we're the greatest team, we're going to win this whole thing. You also got blown out a couple of times. You didn't say, we stink, we got no chance. You're always in between. How deliberate is that, and how important is that a message for your players to hear in terms of just kind of being the same guy all the time?
Yeah. I think that, obviously it's deliberate, but I would say it's deliberate because I think it's honest. I think that's the nature of humans, and I think too often we say nature of society now, whatever. This is nature of society all the time. Is people? It's just no one had the ability to voice these opinions before. Now they have a forum to voice it, but everybody was always the worst or the best. Right, or like all the time, every week, it was just like, oh, we're the worst, or we're the best, or, and it would go from week to week to week to week to week, and I think that's the thing that's so crazy is, I think we've lost, in everything we do in society, we've lost our ability to have logical middle ground, and I think that's how I think. At least I hope I do. I'm not except for some Halloween candies like Milk Duds are the worst candy. That's without question. No one can debate that. But most other things are kind of good and kind of not good, right? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of in between. So I think that I'm trying to make sure that we do that because I don't want us to live on these swings in our lives, because I don't want us to live on these swings during the game, right? It can't be, okay, we score a touchdown, we're the greatest offense that's ever lived. Oh, we went 3 and out, we are the worst offense that's ever lived. Oh, we gave up an explosive play, we're the worst defense ever. Oh, we got a turnover, or we've had 3 and outs in a row, we're the best. Like, you can't live that way. You've got to, because that's unnatural confidence or unnatural lack of confidence. So that's I'm just trying to make sure that we can live with a little bit more tempered throughout the whole thing.
Anything else for Coach?
Sweet.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You broke my heart. I grew up on Milk Duds.
They're so bad.
They're not.
Mario, second leading tackler on the team, 52 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. We're opening up for questions, but we'll start with James.
You guys good?
Yep.
Cool. Mario, at one point during the JMU game, you were really emotional on the field when the defense gave up a big play, right? How important is it for this team to have a bounce back win against App State after dropping 2?
Yeah, I mean, those 2 losses hurt. We go out every week and we're trying to dominate our opponent, and we didn't put our best product out those two games. So it's frustrating, but we bounced back. We had a great week of practice, and we bounced back and we got a good win. So it was great for our confidence, and we're gonna keep rolling.
When you look at the end of that box score against App State, what could have been done later? Coach Rahne said the offense maybe could have put up a couple more points, right? But from a defensive perspective, what could improve from this week to next?
Man, we had a lot of opportunities to score on defense in that game, and we got to take advantage of those opportunities. I had one that I missed, but there was a lot of opportunities out there for us to score on defense, and that could have changed the game and put up even more points. So that's something that we're looking forward to get better at throughout the rest of the season.
Going to Monroe, they're a very physical team. They like to run the ball, play good defense. What kind of challenges is that for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, everybody in this conference is good. We're expecting a tough ball game. They got great players on both sides of the ball, but we know they're going to pound the rock. And we got to blow up, and we got to play good defense. So we're excited for the challenge.
You talk about having good practices. Are you seeing consistency in those practices that carry over to games now, or you have to kind of play it by ear?
Nah, for sure. We know when we do have a great week of practice, it translates to the game every week. That's something that we harp on all the time. And personally for myself, when I know I have a great practice in that week, it translates into the game, and it's very important for the success of the team and success of our defense.
Mario, I hear you have a favorite cheerleader.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, my sister. She's probably my favorite, but well, not probably. She is my favorite, but yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite. Basically, kind of like my twin. We're roommates. She lives with me, so we spend a lot of time together. Yep.
Are y'all twins?
No, we're not twins. We're what they call Irish twins. We're 13 months apart. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So she came here a year after you?
No, we came in the same year. We've always been in the same grade. We graduated high school together. She cheered for me in high school, and
How does that work? How do y'all pick the same school?
So at first, she didn't go to my school, and then she transferred her junior year to kind of, I guess, cheer for me. I don't know. She just came to my school and because I went to a private school, so she just transferred and came to a private school with me. So yeah, it was cool.
No, I mean, but how did you all but wind up here?
Oh, at ODU?
Yeah.
She wanted to follow me, I guess. I don't know. Through my recruitment and all that, she wanted to follow me, and it was easier for my parents, both having us down here. They wouldn't have to go to another game to see her. If she was cheering somewhere else across the country, we don't know. So just easier having us both here. Yeah.
She's right there on the sidelines. Is there any interaction during the game? You look over?
Nah, I don't see her on the sideline now. I mean, sometimes I come off, I see her, but it's normally, before the games when we do the Monarch Walk, I see her. But yeah, not during the games. Too locked in.
You guys have had some extreme results in both directions, some blowout wins, a couple of blowout losses. How helpful has it been, and not to hammer the 1-0 thing to death, but How helpful has it been to kind of not go to those extremes mentally and just stay the course with what you're doing?
Yeah, we gotta remember who we are. You know, find our identity and just keep playing the ball that we know how to play. And just, you know, every week of practice, we're just going out there and we're trying to go 1-0. You know, we don't want we're harping on the 1-0, but like it's truly what we do. So, you know, every week of practice, whether we had a blowout win, a blowout loss, we just gotta move past it, you know, and just we gotta focus on what's ahead of us. You know, that's all you can do. So.
Tomorrow, if you win, you guys are bowl eligible, which means you're going to a bowl, which I assume would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been to one bowl game since I've been here, and I'm definitely trying to go to another one. You know, another chance to play football, it would be a great opportunity. So, yeah, we're definitely trying to do that.
You play against this offense all the time, and they've become known for 40-plus, 70-plus yard touchdown plays.
Mm-hmm.
How unpredictable can this offense be when you're trying to stop it?
I mean, when you got explosive playmakers, it's hard to stop them, and that's what we got on our offense. You know, the receivers can make plays at a split second. Quarterback can make plays. Yeah, it's hard. You can't really plan against it. You just gotta go out there and try to win your one-on-one, which, you know, I'm gonna take our guys over anyone. So, you know, it's hard to stop, but, you know, I'm glad they're on our side.
Anything else from Aaron? All right, thank you guys.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Louisiana native, Ja'Cory Thomas. Ja'Cory also our second leading receiver, 28 catches, 467 yards, 4 touchdowns. James, since you did so well, start us off with this.
Ja'Cory, I asked Coach the same question, but you know, when Gladden gets over 100 yards, like you've had 100 yards multiple times, and then like Trey in the JMU game, how difficult is it maybe for opposing defenses to have to look at that and say, okay, who are we putting cornerback 1 on?
Well, you know, it makes it hard on them. You know, they can't, you know, you double one guy, you got a guy right here, you got a guy right here. You know, it just makes it hard on the defenses.
Getting an opportunity to go home and play in front of family and friends, what's that like for you?
I mean, it felt good just going back home. You know, I want to put on a show for my family back at home. You know, it's going to be a great experience.
How far are you away from
I was going to ask that same thing.
It's like, I'm about like 3 hours. So it ain't really that close.
Louisiana is a big state.
Yeah.
Fact.
Do you have family going to the game?
Yes, so I got a lot.
How many tickets you have to get?
Probably need about like 40.
40?
Yeah.
Wow. How much pride do you guys take in the explosiveness of this offense? Just 1 minute everything's normal, and then all of a sudden there's a dude streaking 70 yards down the field.
You know, we take a lot of pride in it, you know. Just having those, like, explosive guys on the field, it makes it hard, you know. Yeah. It just makes the game, like, easy. Like, one guy can make a play, and it just make it good.
How cool is it with someone like Mario telling you what's it like facing you guys on a day-to-day basis? How does that make you guys feel offensively?
You know, it makes us feel good. Having a guy on the defensive side of the ball, you know, giving us praise, you know, it just gives us that confidence, you know, just keep going.
After a couple of bad losses, you guys obviously got a close win on Saturday. Things could have gone the other way. How important has it been for you guys to maintain faith and maintain the same kind of mentality?
You know, just staying focused, like just taking one play at a time, just, you know, executing that play and, you know, just staying focused, going hard at practice, and, like, just leaving the past behind us. And that's really it.
The past, I guess, includes the blowout wins.
Mm-hmm.
You can't dwell on those either, right?
Facts. Got to stay focused.
Anything else for Ja'Cory?
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.